All right, football intermediary Kelvin Irikefe is live on the program from his base in Europe. Kelvin, thank you for joining the show this evening from Dublin. Let's start with our Nigerian brothers who are attracting the market at this moment. Victor Osimhen seems to be the biggest of them all. After that impressive season with Napoli, every top club wants to have Victor on their payroll. If you are his advisor, where would you tell Victor to go?
Thanks for having me. Just give him two advice. Follow your career and then follow the cash.
Absolutely. And amongst these big clubs who are interested, we understand that Chelsea wants Victor to be a Blue next season. United are also looking at him as an option. Bayern Munich are on the car as a teenager. He was on the show 8 years ago, and he told me his role model is Didier Drogba, who definitely is a Chelsea legend. And that really is in line with your thoughts that perhaps Victor would excel as a Chelsea player. But like you also mentioned earlier, he should also follow the cash. As a footballer, the cash is always very, very important. Let's talk about other Nigerian players. Paul Onuachu was a big name in Belgium as a Genk player, but not more at this time when he moved to Southampton, a club he could not help to avoid the drop in the Premier League. Onuachu actually struggled to tie down a first-team shirt at Southampton. Now he's on the verge of leaving the club. Where should he go?
For him, I think he has to reconstruct his steps. Before you decide to launch into the Premier League, you have to consider so many other factors. Apart from the ability to play and deliver at a place like in Belgium, the EPL is like a metaphysical ground where you can be made in one moment or you could be destroyed in one moment, especially when you are launched into the midst of the league, when others are already familiarized with the league, and then you play your first match, it wasn't a hit. Second, wasn't that much a hit. The third one becomes a problem, and it rolls on and on and on. I can count for you great players from Nigeria and even from Africa that have gone to the Premier League and then came back as a flop. For him, you shouldn't despair. He didn't flop as far as I'm concerned. He had his first season, and I would just encourage him with a reference for Didier Drogba. It took Didier Drogba about 3 seasons to hit the top of his game in Chelsea. At the first 3 seasons, even a midfielder like Lampard scored more goals than him. So Onuachu, you are a striker. The hallmark and the measurement of a striker is how many goals you can score in the eyes of the public, but also your contribution and runs and holding play also matters. I think he didn't really flop on those areas, but just that the goals didn't come in. So I would just ask him to sit back and just find a place where he will have more playing time. Coming from a not rather pleasant season for him.
All right, I never knew you were a Chelsea fan, but so let's stay with the Blues. Chelsea are doing lots of business this summer. A lot of players leaving the club in what I would term as a massive clear out. Kai Havertz leaving for Arsenal, £65 million. Mason Mount is leaving as well. Conor Gallagher is also leaving. We should have a confirmation of all of these in graphics in the beat. Matthew Kovacic is also leaving. Trevor Chalobah is also leaving. Koulibaly has left. He's gone to Saudi Arabia for the money. He's in the twilight of his career, and you want to expect that. Christian Pulisic is also out of the club. Hakim Ziyech is out. Hudson-Odoi is out. Edward Mendy is out. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is out. Aubameyang is out. As a matter of fact, Aubameyang has been out a long time ago, though he was still in London. Kante left for free, and so also is the captain, Azpilicueta. A lot of players leaving the club. Christian Nkunku seems to be the only one who is a confirmed arrival with the young man from Villarreal who we just confirmed has also joined the Blues. Looking at these business going on at the Blue side of Chelsea, you want to ask a big question. With all these players leaving the club, who will the new manager be working with at Chelsea?
First of all, the manager has a track record. So far, so good. He has been from Tottenham to PSG He's been able to work with big players. I think in coming to Chelsea at a point in time where I think it's the lowest point of the club's illustrious history in the EPL, I think he has to clean house. And in cleaning the house, he has to clean the house very well. There are some dead legs, sorry to use the word in a quote, that have been in Chelsea for a while now that have not been performing up to maximum expectation, especially given their average age and the average age of that team. And then it's a time for new blood, a new beginning, a new reconstruction, so that he will come in with a new philosophy, knowing fully well that any player that comes in now is not going to play in the Europa or the Champions League. So they have no reason not to deliver at least a place in the first top four, and then maybe one trophy. I think that would be a good way to start. Otherwise, you trust Chelsea. If he doesn't perform, we'll show him the way out.
Thank you so much, Kelvin Irikefe. Thank you so much for your thoughts on the program today, live on the show from Dublin in Ireland. He talked about the coach, Mauricio Pochettino, who has been hired. He was coach at Tottenham, and so he understands the terrain in London. He's not a newbie as far as the Premier League is concerned, having managed Tottenham for a while before going to Paris Saint-Germain. He's 51 years of age. He's got a lot of Premier League experience under his belt, and perhaps he will be able to turn the tides at Chelsea. Well,